For the last 5 years, I found the word prayer really unhelpful. We recognise the overall flow and call it prayer, intimacy, but we miss the... So that's how you build a prayer room. It's like I'm making my room So there are beings coming in and out. You might walk in your room and a being comes in front of you and goes, "Hey, great to have you on Spiritual Realities. My name's Paul Hopkins, and someone in our community asked recently about prayer. This is part of my answer." So if we could deconstruct prayer, so like I find prayer, at the minute, for the last 5 years, I found the word prayer really unhelpful because I just don't know. It's just so vague. So if I take the word prayer out of the Lord's Prayer, it just becomes so much more powerful to me. I'm not against prayer, obviously. It's just out the lenses. So prayer, or what I'm doing in my room, is technological engagement with the living God and all his mechanisms and beauty. So what is intimacy? Like intimacy, that's another vague word, isn't it? What's intimacy? It's just feeling fluffy, or really, and it's increasing the feeling of strong fluffiness or something. It's actually, if intimacy is like learning to dance the waltz, or I'm not a dancer, so I don't know, the tango, that sounds too energetic, but learning all these, like learning to dance the tango with someone, you've got to learn how to move together. It's actually very detailed, but it becomes a flow. And I think we recognize the overall flow and call it prayer, intimacy, but we miss the detail. So I am standing here and I'm engaging with many angles. So I'm sure I'm accessing courtroom decisions with divine beings in different places, different people who lived in this area and still have an interest in it, different geological implications of being here, historical implications of being here. What does the land have? I live in a place which is historically borne so much fruit. It's one of the crop and fruit producing areas of this country. It's a bread basket. It produces it's more apples than it knows what to do with historically. So that's the land. So I'm standing on that, and I'm not from here, but I engage with that. And I'm now on this land. I belong here. It's my land. I want to partner with those who also want to partner with the land. So I embrace the farmers, and I visit them from this room. And increasingly I find if you do that, so I'm engaging with the physicality and the spiritual dimensions to do with from this room, which somehow ties it in, which also means I might go to certain places on the Quantox and stand there and to speak things because I feel that's a significant place to stand and say it from. It's like I'm making my room a train station for the heavens. So I walk through the door, and I've just walked into Berlin Central train station, where there's a multitude of things coming and going, many of which I have no control over and I can't interact with at the minute, but I've given them permission to move through my space. So yeah, I will meet some of you in that train station. So I'll be there on the platform, having a look at, where's this train's coming? What's this about? And I suddenly realised that Sean and Sari are on it, and I'm talking to them, and I'm aware of what they're doing, or there's something for me to just watch or do. So that's how you build a prayer room, I would suggest. So of course I will use frequencies. I will worship. I don't find, maybe it's just me, but for the last 4 or 5 years, there's no Christian songs that do anything for me anymore. Probably because I've just used them too much. So I tend to just have frequencies and noises. They're actually, if you go on YouTube, you can probably find lots of new age frequency stuff. Some of it is just funky because it's frequency. So other stuff is like, nah, I don't want that. Because you can feel the vibration within it. So, but, there are Christians who do it as well, and I'll do it myself, create that music. So I'm using those so what's the assignment today when I walk in the room? I haven't got a list of prayers for people to pray for. I'm coming in and what's the assignment? What's going to happen? It's an adventure. Every entry into my room where I'm dedicated is like, and that creates an atmosphere. So again, an atmosphere, that's a big word, an overall description, which must have tons of detail underneath it. So there are beings coming in and out. So if you think of the ladies of gold, when they prayed, they constantly had beings, kings, beggars coming in and out of the walls, talking to them. I think that's meant to be a normal prayer gathering for an individual as well as for people. So I think, Diego, I think if you want to up your game, go in tomorrow or whatever, go, hey, can I take this to the next level? I don't want to just stop what I'm doing, but can we add some extra stuff here, God? What surprise me? What should I do here? And just go with the spontaneity of it. But then when you've gone with the spontaneity, go, what's the structure that reveals? So there's always structure. So like we eat bread, but it's got a DNA of the wheat in it and the structure and the gluten. It's got a science in it. So you're finding the way these things work, and the more you do it, the more you get trusted with stuff. And you might walk in your room, and a being comes in front of you and goes, "Help. Can you come?" Sure, where? Here we go. And you're involved in something. Suddenly you're in the middle of a volcano, inside the volcano. And there's a dragon doing something. But that doesn't come overnight. It comes from growing the engagement. Hope that helps. Hope that gives you enough content. We're already 10 minutes over, so I'm aware you have busy lives, and I'm utterly convinced that you don't need hours and hours locked in a cave to do this stuff. In fact, you could lock yourself in a cave for hours and it'd be just as unproductive as... Excuse the dog, I don't know if you can hear that. Dog's just scratching the carpet up. She loves it in here. Why don't we just now access your chariot, your being, your ability to move. So, well, let's just imagine flying over the sea of the Pacific, past Hawaii, into the vastness of the sea, hovering over it, because this is your Earth. Keep moving, keep it moving, keep the video moving.